Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you that shortcut to being well-informed. You know the drill. We take a whole stack of sources, news articles, reports, notes, and pull out the key insights for you. Today, we're diving into Pakistan. We've got a really interesting mix of sources. Things like the Washington Post, Dawn, ptv.com.pk, Reuters, BBC, Arab News, the Express Tribune, and even official alerts from the U.S. Embassy there. So, quite a range.
Yeah, and what we hope you get from this is, well, a really dynamic picture. It's not just isolated headlines. You'll see how domestic politics, infrastructure, international relations, even specific court cases, they're all kind of connected. It's about seeing those underlying currents.
Okay, so let's unpack the first big theme. It seems unavoidable, really. The political situation, especially everything following the May 9th events, the protests after Imran Khan's arrest, it runs through so many reports. We're seeing a lot about legal actions, the government's position. For instance, the BBC mentioned 108 members of Khan's party, PTI, have been jailed. And Dawn gets specific. It talks about the Faisalabad Anti-Terrorism Court, sentencing key PTI figures like Omar Ayub and Shibli Faraz. 10 years.
10 years, right, for alleged involvement in those riots.
And the Express Tribune even mentions a PTI worker getting life, plus forfeiture of property. It seems quite serious.
It does. And what's really striking is how government figures are framing all this. We saw ptv.com.pk and Hum English quoting Atullah Tarar. He called these verdicts a strong legal precedent, even a historic precedent.
A historic precedent.
Yeah. And according to Dawn and ptv.com.pk again, he basically called the PTR's whole story deceit and fraud, dismissed their statements as laughable, baseless, and rooted in propaganda. It's a very, very firm line. Okay. That sounds definitive. But then there's the other side, right? We also picked up the counter-narrative from the opposition. Arab News and Dawn report this opposition alliance saying the government is just trying to, quote, eliminate rivals.
Right, a very different interpretation.
Completely. They're calling for a joint strategy and, interestingly, a grand national dialogue between political parties. They want a new charter of democracy.
A new charter.
Yeah.
And the Express Tribune adds that this group, the APC,
the All Parties Conference, yeah,
they're pushing to get rid of the SIFC, that's the Investment Council, and also the 26th Amendment.
And didn't the News International have a pretty stark warning?
It did. Basically saying the country will sink deeper if loot, plunder continues. Strong stuff from that side, too.
So you have these two completely opposing narratives. One side saying legal precedent, the other screaming political suppression. Exactly. And it really throws a spotlight on just how polarized things are. The legal system itself seems to be, part of the battlefield for legitimacy. It raises big questions about trust and where the country's heading.
Yeah, that's a really crucial point. The battle over the narrative itself. Okay, let's shift gears for a moment. Away from the high politics, what about more immediate concerns? Public safety, infrastructure. Because several sources, Washington Post, Dawn, ptv.com.pk, Times of India, they all reported on that train derailment, the Islamabad Express, near Kala Shakaku.
That's right, a passenger train.
Yeah, and the injury numbers are around, 27 to 30 people? Estimates vary a little.
And ptv.com.pk added that the railways minister ordered an immediate inquiry.
Right, so an immediate response there.
And this incident, tragic as it is, it really does highlight the ongoing need for safe and reliable infrastructure. It's a constant challenge. And related to that idea of national preparedness, we also saw a lot about climate change.
Yes, always a huge issue for Pakistan.
Definitely. ptv.com.pk, and Dawn mentioned the Prime Minister ordered an urgent upgrade of the Met Office's early warning system, explicitly acknowledging, quote, changing climate.
That's significant, linking it directly like that.
Very. And it came just as the Express Tribune was reporting an emergency declared in, I think, 37 flood-hit areas up in Gilgit-Baltistan.
Wow, 37 areas. So the impacts are being felt right now.
Exactly. It shows the reality they're dealing with.
So it looks like they're trying to tackle both things at once, addressing immediate safety, like the train inquiry, and also building resilience for climate change.
Seems that way. Proactive steps on disaster readiness alongside dealing with current infrastructure problems. A dual focus.
Okay, now let's look outward a bit. International relations. What did the sources show there? Well, Radio Pakistan and Dawn confirmed the Iranian president is planning a visit.
An official visit, right?
Yeah, ptv.com.pk said 2 days. And the Express Tribune just mentioned key talks.
A visit like that, Iran's president coming to Pakistan, it always carries weight. Especially with, all the shifting dynamics in the region, it could signal something important about their bilateral ties or regional strategy.
Interesting. And on the economic side, something quite new popped up. Reuters and Dawn reported Pakistan is set to buy its first ever U.S. oil cargo.
First ever, wow.
Yeah, through a deal involving Chinajiko and Vitol.
And Iftikhar Malik, who is quoted by ptv.com.pk, called it a historic development for Pakistan-U.S. trade. Quite enthusiastic.
Well, you can see why. Diversifying energy sources, especially getting U.S. oil for the first time, that's economically significant. It could potentially shift some historical trade patterns and alliances. Definitely one to watch.
I think there's often a but, isn't there? This positive economic news seems a bit tempered by security worries. The U.S. Embassy issued a security alert, July 31st it was.
What did it say?
Advising U.S. officials to limit visits to high-end hotels in Karachi, citing a threat report.
Okay, that's specific. Karachi hotels. And following that, The Independent reported the UK Foreign Office also updated its advice,
How so?
advising against all but essential travel to parts of Pakistan, seemingly prompted by that same hotel alert.
Right. So these aren't travel bans, but they are advisories. Signals of caution. It reflects what intelligence might be picking up about potential risks. It's designed to protect their own people, of course.
Yeah.
But it also gives us, an outside view of the perceived security environment, and that can influence things like investment, tourism.
Absolutely. Perception matters.
Wow.
Okay, finally, let's zoom into one last area, a really interesting local legal story involving corporate governance.
Ah, the K Electric case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dawn, Geo.tv, Express Tribune, they all covered it. The CEO, Muniz Alvi, the Sindh ombudsman found him guilty of workplace harassment and actually ordered his removal.
Which sounds pretty definitive, but then...
But then, almost immediately, Dawn and the Express Tribune reported the Sindh High Court suspended that order.
Right. Talk about legal whiplash. One body orders removal, a higher court suspends it. Just like that.
It's quite something.
It really shows you the layers in the legal system, doesn't it? And how these processes of accountability and judicial review can play out very quickly, sometimes with conflicting results right after each other. It highlights the complexity.
Yeah, perfect little snapshot of legal processes unfolding in real time. Stages, appeals, suspensions. Fascinating. So, all right, that was quite a journey through our sources on Pakistan. We've touched on intense political clashes, critical infrastructure needs, climate responses, international deals, security alerts, and even corporate legal fights. Hopefully you've got a quick but pretty thorough sense of what's driving the news there.
Yeah, our aim was really to connect the dots for you, not just list the headlines, but give a feel for the why it matters and how these different pieces fit together. Understanding those links is, well, it's crucial for getting a real handle on what's happening in any region, and Pakistan is certainly complex right now.
Definitely. So as you go about your day, here's something to maybe mull over. Thinking about those internal political tensions we discussed and those security alerts, how might those domestic pressures affect Pakistan's ability to really capitalize on some of those new economic opportunities, like that U.S. oil deal we mentioned? Where does the balance lie between internal challenges and external opportunities in the months ahead? That's something to think about.